Yo, what's up? I
Howdy.
think this is working fine. Looks good to me. What's up? We have three people hanging out and watching us live. Not to mention, I got three people on screen here to entertain you and hang out for a second. What's up, guys? Who's
What's up, Kyle?
good in the room? Jonathan and David.
What's
What's
up?
up, guys?
All right. Yeah, we got a few more people joining now, which is awesome. Thank you for being here. It's just going to be like an unboxing plus, I guess I would say. So, this is a different setup, a different camera angle than I'm used to using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the unboxing of this gigantic box that I had to open ahead of time, while Jonathan and David help me vamp while I open the figure, so there's no
Sure.
dead air, good programming. And then
Sure.
once the figure's opened, I'll move over to the computer and I got some cool stuff to share with you guys. So,
Outstanding. I can't wait to see, even though I know what it is. Like I still can't wait to see. So, Jonathan, it's somebody's special's birthday today.
Yes, it
oh,
is.
yeah.
It is, in fact, the birthday of the late and great Akira Ifukube, the maestro extraordinaire that we all know and love. Need I say anything more about this great man? I'm sure you all know and familiar with his work, as we are. I'm really uh, happy to celebrate this day. I will be definitely listening to some Ifukube scores on the way back from work and in the foreseeable future.
Nice.
And I feel like Kyle in his head is humming some Ifukube right now as he opens up what's going to be an epic box reveal.
I'm humming, I guess I'm humming the end track from the 2001 score using Yafukube's tracks, right?
Oh, there
Because
you
this
go.
is,
Okay.
here, I'll just go ahead and try and open it right now. Oh, this
Oh, I,
gigantic
I told
box
you it was heavy.
is
Feels massive.
courtesy,
Seems massive.
yeah, it's totally got to be courtesy of our good friend, co-host Leslie Chambers. And I think I got this right. He is getting the Spiral GMK from Tanaka Studios, which is a gigantic piece. And so he's had this X Plus
Ooh.
gigantic figure in his collection for a long time. Leslie knows how much I love GMK, which really, when it comes down to the suit, I love GMK. I love that suit so much. It's sort of like my one of my favorite Godzillas. There's lots of suits that have lots of good memories with me, but man, the GMK has so many cool iterations collectible wise. So good. So, this bad
Ooh.
boy,
Wow.
as we know, he's been out
Wow.
for a long, long time. 10 years ago, in fact. And after it's been 10 years since X Plus, I think not since they released it, but since they started showing off their gigantic GMK figure, which is from a Kaibutsuya kit
That's right.
where they sort of like repositioned him a little bit. All right, so there you have it.
That
I'm
is
gonna go ahead and
beautiful.
put this guy down and move over to the other screen real quick.
Right on. See you in a minute.
I must say, David, that figure, um, that's a staple right there. Yes, you
You
have it.
miss one?
Dude, that figure, by the way, is one of my favorite iterations of GMK because I love the stylized animalistic quality of it. You know, it's got this ferocious sort of look to it. And sorry, I think I messed that up there. But
That's okay.
this right here is like, let's put you on screen for a second there. This right here is like one of the like quintessential kits when it comes to GMK. It's freaking phenomenal.
It's
Quintessential.
it's great, and also one of the things I have to say about it is this for me. I missed. That's the very first issue that one Kyle has that Leslie was kind enough to give Kyle. I have the
So kind.
diamond reissue that I got for a really really fair price, like back when you could get things at a fair price from Big Bad Toy Store, and it's the one with the blue dorsal plates, which I really kind of like too. Now, Kyle, I do have a couple questions about this because I know you were the one who broke the news about this figure when
Yeah.
you first went to Japan. Well, not you, when you first went to Japan, on one of your earlier trips to Japan about 10 years ago. So, is this the very first gigantic, or is it the second one? I can't remember, to be honest
So
with you.
this one is I think it's the first one, right? Because this is the first, because we didn't really know about the gigantic series at that time.
Right.
And in
Yep.
the year before, okay, so we're talking about October to the beginning of November 2013. I went with my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, and we went to Osaka because I have friends there. And I was like, oh my God, how cool would it be if I could interview the guys from X Plus?
Extremely.
Thank you. Like making sure he's going to stay.
Facebook user says Kyle has no room for it. He'll have to sell it.
Okay, so I'm not going to sell this one because it was a
Yeah.
gift from Leslie.
No
What
selling
it
of
does
gift.
mean, though, is I probably will actually sell another one. I'll probably sell my my Sakai, and if I need to position these to see if it works, but I have this idea where this gigantic is going to be in the background, and then my
Ooh.
Godzilla, my Mothra and Baragon set, and the Ghidorah will sort of be huddled together in front of him, like, oh my God, he's so scary. So I've already thought long and hard about what I want to do with this in my collection, and I will be keeping this one because, wow, yes, it's what they're talking about. Sorry. So yeah, David's right. That was 10 years ago that I went over there, and this was the first gigantic. And in the interview, which is still up on the Kaiju Cast channel,
You should
G
repost it.
said,
You should repost
yeah,
it.
yeah, I will. I'll repost it in the
It's a
group.
good idea.
But this is me at X Plus HQ.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
These pictures are not in any order. I tried to put them in order and then I accidentally closed it. And then I had to reopen it.
10 years ago. Oh, there's the big
I
deal.
will say, so what happened is I emailed them and I wasn't getting a response. And if anybody remembers that right around that time, Diamond was talking about the reissue stuff. And so there was a dude who I met at Comic-Con or one of the conventions, and I introduced myself. He was a Diamond rep, and he was the guy that was doing the business with X Plus. And so after I wasn't getting a message back from my email, I was like, hey, dude, will you just, say that this guy's legit? Because I did interview them for the podcast as well. And so they did respond and they said that I was legit, and that's when I started the conversation about getting there. And I thought I wasn't going to be able to actually do the interview because I figured I would need to hire a translator and everything was going to need to be paid for, and somebody was going to have to come and meet me there. It's going to be a huge freaking production. But in the end, they basically said, no, we should be okay. We can speak enough English. And they did. They spoke enough English to get the interview done. I subtitled them, which G really appreciated because the Japanese don't feel, this is a very oversimplified statement. I hate it, but the Japanese, when they speak English, don't feel like they speak English very well. And so because of that, they are looking for any kind of help out that they can get. So I don't know why I brought that up, but the deal was that I said hello to them. They hooked me up in this what did they say? They said we have a meeting happening in their showroom right now, so we can't do the interview in the showroom, but we're gonna go to the meeting room, the boardroom, and and Matsubara and G just kept bringing in figure after figure after figure after figure.
Oh my God.
And yeah, actually, hang on. Let me get back to the
Whoa.
table. The table
Ultraman?
had. We'll go back to that stuff in a second. The table, they brought all this awesome stuff to the table, and that if you watch that video, we were surrounded by this incredible stuff, including like the Gamera 2 covered in Legion soldiers, and
Wow.
the Biolante, which was like, for me, the first time I had seen a majority of these figures in person, and I was just like, this freaking rules, dude. And they were, so I know how to temper my excitement and act like a human being. And so because of that, a lot of people can appreciate how excited I get about something because I temper it, because I might be like up on this level. But yeah, that's right. In that interview, I asked what RIC stands for, and it was the R is really the only one that's memorable. It's like Rickenbacker from the bass, the old basses. That's what the R stands for. Rickenbacker International
It's very catchy.
something cooperative. But everybody always like, what is the deal with Rick? Why is it Rick
That's a
Boy?
good trivia question. We should keep that in mind if we ever do a
Yeah.
giveaway.
That's it. That's a really good question. I like
Yes,
that.
it is. I
All
like it.
right. So they set me up and we record the interview. And it was awesome. Like I asked them everything I wanted to ask essentially. They gave me quite a bit of information without spilling the beans so much. I didn't feel like X Plus was a spill the beans company. And then they were like, "Oh, do you want to check out the room, the storeroom where we do the prototype painting?" And that's what this is. Let me just full screen that there. Yeah, International Creation. That sounds right, Dell. That sounds
That's
very right.
Dell knows. Dell knows. That's it.
So this is the where so here on the left hand, if you can see my mouse, I'm not sure if you can, but the left hand side of the screen, this is their paint, not their paint. This is their studio that they had, little tiny PVC studio with lights and backdrops. Then next to that is the paint system where they have the exhaust fan pointing right out of the building, which is why they can do this in a corporate office.
Wow.
And so this is the guy that sits there and paints. I've met him several times now. Every time I see him,
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, it's the guy that painted the stuff in the closet. And that's G,
Amazing.
of course, right in the middle. And there's a
That's
shelf
Matsubara.
of different painted variations of things, and that's Matsubara. Look, young Matsubara on the right hand side there.
In high school there. It's crazy.
So these guys, specifically G and Matsubara, those are essentially our X Plus homies. Like I met them in 2013. They were absolutely cool enough to show me around. They were just they floored me how cool they were, how generous they were with their time, with the interview, with showing me around the office, and they took me to lunch, which was really great. And I think I've told this on the show before, but if I haven't, you guys get to hear it. It'll be fun. So, couple things. I'll just say the braggiest thing first, and I'll just downplay the hell out of it. This is a Space Godzilla, which they had not released at this time. I was like seeing the prototype of Space Godzilla, but it was like just about to come out or something, or just had come out. So at lunch, they're like, "Hey, we want to give you a figure," and I was like, "Oh, you really don't need to do that. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, but that's just too generous." And they were like, "Gonna give me this Space Godzilla figure." Which, if you guys remember when he came out, was freaking huge. Like,
Huge.
very hilarious to say as I'm opening a gigantic, but huge
Yeah.
figure in a large box. And I was like, I can't even get that in my suitcase. Like, but thank you. And they were like, they insisted. And so because of that, I opted for a Daimajin figure, which is why I didn't get the arms posed out. This was just what they were photographing at the time. But it was very generous of them to hook me up with that. Aside from that, they offered to take me to the office or the space where they sculpted the gigantic GMK, the Kaibutsuya like office. And I was like, I really would love to, but I have abandoned my wife and my friend's apartment and I need to get back to her. And I'm glad I did that because it really did. I mean, it let them know what kind of person I was. It let them know where my priorities were. It's obviously a huge priority. They were able to see my joy for sure. Because, yeah, once we finally got back from lunch, I got pictures in front of the showroom, which now I've been able to take a couple different people to their office and get to see the cool stuff on display. But there you have it, my photo essay of GMK. No,
That's
not
really
GMK,
cool.
photo essay of my X Plus visit.
I totally remember that. And, we got to do it again when we went in 2015. We brought the whole crew there, including Dell and Rich and Keith and John and Brandy. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody, but we all went there and we got to essentially do what Kyle did. And we did get to go to the Kaibutsuya studio to see them working on the 62 Godzilla, which we couldn't say anything because that was still kind of hush hush. That wasn't even, we couldn't say anything until it was actually released. But Kyle started this chain of introducing us to X Plus which I'm so grateful for because G and I are like friends now. We talk like every other week, and we found out we have a lot in common as far as like our likes, and we're about the same age. And our love for the old Aurora monster kits really is something that we always talk about. And I'm just grateful he can speak English because I wouldn't be able to communicate with him if it was the other way around.
Totally, yeah.
But it's as Kyle said, it was an amazing experience to see where these things that we all love and spend so much money on are being created. It was a complete honor, and to be treated, as nicely as we were, that was just, again, the icing on the cake for an amazing trip in 2015. And then we went back again in 2019.
Yeah.
That was a shorter visit, but
because we were in Kyoto that time, and we basically just dipped into Osaka, whereas the previous trip
one
we were
night.
like there for a few days. Yeah,
it was a one.
We weren't even there for a night. We were there we dipped in the morning, right? Because we left so that we could get to Osaka right around like lunchtime. And then we went to like some of the stores, and then went and had lunch with G, and they took us back to the soba place, which was awesome.
They did. That soba place is the best soba I've ever had. Everything is like that is the benchmark for every bowl of soba that I eat, which is a big mistake. Nothing compares to it. It was just great fun. And the weirdest thing about that trip, it's a little bit off subject, is before we met the guys at X Plus, Keith, Kyle and I went to Astro Zombies in Osaka. And I was like ahead of them. They were looking downstairs. So I walk up the top of the stairs and I hear somebody say my name in English. I'm like, what? It's a guy, a collector, and one of our viewers, Ryan Mitchell from the UK, had recognized me from I guess this was before Collect All Monsters. So recognized me from just the internet and stuff, and probably Fresh Vinyl Live. And it was just so weird to meet him in person in Japan, and him being from the UK, and just a strange chain of events. And that's the wonderful things that happen to you when you're in Japan.
For sure. Right? I love that stuff.
Me too.
Yeah, the fact
really
that
cool.
that was actually such a great time because we were there. We did not go to Wonder Festival that year, but we were there at the time of Wonder Festival. So there were a ton of people, like our friends from the Godzilla community were like just showing up almost randomly, just like that. Ryan Mitchell being in Osaka, and like we went to Tsukagawa so we could go to the Eiji Tsuburaya Memorial Museum, and Ed Gojachetsky walks in, and it's like, what is that phrase? Like in all of the museums and all of Japan, you had to walk into this one.
You got to walk into my museum, and then of course we ran into Butch too.
Right.
That wasn't as random. He was in Japan at the same time. He did go to Wonderfest, but he actually came with us to go to the Super Ride Museum. But I'm just talking about this is getting my excitement up for the next time I get out there. So anyhow,
I'm trying to recreate the photo here.
Yeah, there it is. You're holding it on the opposite side though, but that's all right.
Wait a second.
There you go. Yeah. Is it? Wait, no, it's not mirrored.
It's a beauty.
He was looking this way. Oh, I should be on the other side. Anyway,
you should be on the other side, yeah. We get it.
I'll have to recreate it later, but
you should. You should have Lady Kyle take a picture of that. Just totally duplicate it.
I should do that. 10 years, people.
You know who else? Who's else is excited are the people that are in the chat right now. I figured I'd rattle off some of the people that are viewing.
Oh, yeah, sure. Please do.
We have Albert.
What's up, Albert?
Escobedo-san.
We have Facebook user, which I believe might be Jordan here, because I know Jordan got in here as
Jordan
well.
Chen, yeah, Jordan Chen.
Nice.
We have Nick Sides.
Nick Sides. We love Nick Sides. Of course, we love Nick Sides.
Got Helmy.
Helmy, of course.
Helmy, the always wonderful Helmy.
More than she is.
Yeah, I know, right? Robert. What's up, Robert?
Robert.
Dwyer-san.
Of course, we have Dell.
Dell.
The man himself.
Gonna get to see Dell in a couple months, or actually now it's a month.
Is he?
I think. I'm hoping. Dell, you going to G-Fest?
Yeah, Dell, are you going to G-Fest?
Yes, please blink twice.
Mike Farah. What's up, Mike Farah?
Michael Farah.
Mike Farah proud
Kaiju battle.
owner of a new Gomez model kit.
Yeah, man, you got a
Ooh.
deal on that. That's a beautiful kit, that Billiken
It
Gomez.
is.
That's
It really
the
is.
best Gomez ever made, in my opinion.
Time to prepare the 5th trip. Yeah.
Oh
Well,
man. Well,
I got to prepare my first one.
yeah. I think essentially I'm ready. When we move over there, we're planning to move in November. We don't have an exact date yet because we're waiting on a whole bunch of other stuff. Once I'm over there, I will actually start doing some more trip plans and stuff like that, but it'll be on much smaller scale, like maybe like 3 or 4 people as opposed to like 5 or 6 or 10. you know but yeah, I'm looking forward to some more group trips and some more cool Japan adventures with some people for sure.
Love it.
For sure.
Highly recommended.
Yeah, I will say those trips are really awesome, and you know, it's just so good for the group. You know,
Thank you, Albert.
It's great. It's pretty great.
Well, it's
Yeah,
perfect.
cool.
It's perfect for the group.
Well,
it's what we're all about.
speaking, last thing I'll say about Japan real quick is if you didn't know this, 2 of our members, Chris Konda and I can't remember his last name, but Ian, they just went to Japan in March and got followed around by the same TV show that we did, and their episode aired just last night in Japan. So it was pretty fun, pretty good, but it totally made me go, where's my episode? I want to see my
Yeah.
last trip with taking those guys to Wonder Festival. I can't wait to see how that gets sussed out, essentially. But yeah,
That'd be cool to
that's
see, yeah.
It's gonna be
more
fun.
Japan stuff.
Well, we
Albert's
got a
asking
question.
what
Ooh, which
episode?
episode?
That's it's episode of the show called "Why Did You Come to Japan?" or "You wa Nanishi Nippon?" And when we were there in February, they followed us around to Wonder Festival, and they went there and to Kaiju Sakaba with us. So I don't know when they're going to air it, but Chris and Ian were there in March. So they were there more recently. And anyway, yeah, I don't know when our episode is going to air, but yeah, their episode of that show just aired last night in Japan. And I don't know how accessible it is. I have a copy because I got the hookup, but yeah, it'd be nice if they had it like available for everybody could check it out. Oh, someone's saying maybe they didn't like our quiet group. I don't know who that is. Our group
Is that sarcasm or?
I don't know. I can't tell because I don't know who it is. But basically,
I can't imagine your
Bill.
group being too quiet.
So, the problem is like it's just really easy for Americans when they get together to be loud. It's just really, it's actually more difficult to get Americans to shut up.
Yes.
When they're together than it is to, you know what I mean? Like, because one person starts talking, another person starts talking, and if you're talking about nerds specifically, then yeah, it just becomes like this like slowly building crescendo of talk. Oh, that was Gonzo. That's what Larry said. And we lost Jonathan. Thank you, Larry. Yeah,
Oh,
Gonzo. Yeah. So they're definitely. What's funny about the show that was recording with us is that I'm just gonna say it's because of my television host like personality that they really did kind of like focus a lot on me, and they like after Wonder Festival they were like, hey, can you send all your travelers back to the hotel and then we could just like chat with you for a little while? And
oh boy.
and so I don't know what's going to happen with this episode, but I tried to make sure, like Robert's watching now, he'll confirm or deny. When we were at the Kaiju Sakaba, I was like, Robert, you should go show them the TV crew, go show them like the whole like souvenir shop, like the shopping area, right? Go show them that stuff because I wanted them to get the you're hanging out with the kaiju nerd experience. What's up, Jonathan? You want to come in here?
There he is. He's back.
Our internet's bugging out or something. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, it's
I was
all
just
good,
gonna
dude.
hang out in the background. I don't want to be a
No
distraction.
worries.
But
It's all good. I don't need to be here for much longer. What did I say? A half an hour, and we're at 25 minutes in. That's like
Well,
perfect.
it's exciting. There's a lot of segues into other stories that come up from that trip that you did 10 years ago to X Plus,
Yeah,
and
it's wild.
again, you're the one that started the whole relationship between many of us and X Plus, which we were grateful for, because if you didn't do that, we wouldn't have known how awesome they are and gotten the interviews we did and gotten to see the things that we did. So
I'm
bravo
sure
to you.
some other idiot would have gotten in touch with them, and
No, I don't know.
but
I don't.
thank God it was me. Thank God it was this idiot.
No,
That's all I have to say.
it was really great, and just so many great memories
Yes.
of being there.
So what a Facebook user here is saying is that Bill, we know him in the group as Bill's Carnage. Bill actually got to interview Yuji Sakai at Wonder Festival. And the camera crew basically split off. I forgot about that. They split off. Two of them followed me, and two of them followed Bill. And so Bill interviewed Yuji Sakai. So hopefully they get some good footage from that. I honestly, the problem with one of these shows is like what they're going to have to just cut, right? Because the entire program is an hour and a half, but they follow like 4 to 5 different people on their different adventures, and some of them are longer adventures and some of them are shorter adventures, and some people they just talk to in the airport and then they're done. So it's going to be interesting to see what our episode's going to be like. After watching Chris and Ian's video, honestly, I'm like, ooh, anything can happen. Like, but yeah, I just don't want them to cut out. I want them to include all the good stuff. Call me selfish. I want the whole hour and a half to be about our group, not about me, about the group. Anyway,
nothing wrong with that. Come on.
yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, I didn't get to even. Wonder Festival is crazy, by the way. Like, if you don't have an agenda, you'll find yourself just kind of like wandering around and then getting tired and eventually sitting down. Finding seats was fun. Anyway, yeah, I see Rob says that they definitely followed Rob, pointed out the wall of Ultra figures, and he's like, I already have those. Yeah, good, good, good. And then they talked to him for about 10 minutes. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how that all goes, Rob, because honestly, after watching 30 some episodes of that show, I still don't really even understand what they really wanted. Like, even after the conversations afterwards and so forth, like they definitely they were looking for sound bites. They're looking for entertainment stuff, right? So what does Japan want in entertainment? That's the real question. But what are you doing in Japan asks. Seriously, the episode that they were on, Chris and Ian, there's like some guy who was into bullfighting, and like one of the segments, and another segment was this lady who really was interested in Japanese rice production, and it's it's across the board. Yeah, it's all over the place what they have. Like, and some, like I said, sometimes they just talk to people in the airport. And they're like, okay, that was quirky enough. Thank you. Goodbye. Like,
This guy looks interesting. Let's interview him for a second.
that is literally what they say to themselves, I'm sure. They're like, hey, what about this guy over here? And then the whole crew moves over, the whole roving crew of like cameraman, the sound guy, the director, and the translator. And they just walk up and say, excuse me, Japanese TV program, interview okay? And they're getting people coming right off the flights, or like really just kind of tired as hell. I probably just want to get to the hotel, and they're like, yeah, sure, man, cool, what do you want to know? Sometimes it really, there's some characters on that show. Del can attest to that, I'm sure.
It's great because everybody goes to Japan for different reasons. I mean, I dare say that geeks who geek out on Sofubi are not like a dime. I mean, there are a dime a dozen. Like the
right
bullfighting thing, that's interesting. That I think Japan would love that because it's so quirky and out there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
bullfighting. I don't know how much you're going to see over here, but
They
toy
had one
collecting.
guy on one episode who basically biked his way through Japan to go eat ramen. That was his deal.
I want to do that. That's so cool.
Yeah, right.
And then stop at a toy shop along the way. But yeah, I mean, you think they pretty much know what you guys are doing in Japan if you're at Wonderfest. I wonder. They're not into bullfighting. I think they want to buy toys, or they're into toys. So
I was surprised that they didn't seem like they really knew what Wonder Festival was. And yeah, I mean, this is a classic kind of thing, not to go on too far about it, but like basically, I started working at this bat company 15 years ago, but way back when I started working with this company, I had zero exposure to softball and baseball and stuff like that. So working at the company, I'm sitting there going like, yeah, we're everywhere. And we did great business. So I figured everybody knew us everywhere. And then I went to a softball tournament. And I walked around that softball tournament and I looked for our bats. And I was like, oh, there's only like one or two of our bats here. And everything else is all of these other like companies.
Oh.
And it just sort of opened my eyes in that way to a sort of minusculization of my own perspective. And so in Japan, same kind of thing. Like, I feel like there's a lot of things that you and me and our other fans feel like everybody in Japan must know about this and that and the other thing. But really, I've been surprised by Japan. And sometimes they don't know things that you think they know, like they definitely don't know Godzilla movies and the whole litany of Godzilla history. By gum, I tell you.
What's up, Alex?
Oh, hey, what's up, Alex? Good to see you, man.
Also, Eric Stolp was in here earlier, right after we were done, saying who was all in the chat. So I figured I'd shout out his name too.
Good.
Mr. Bearded Kaiju Reviews himself.
Gotta ignore the beards in the room.
A lot of
we need more beards.
Eric,
need more beards.
This afternoon. Well, what do you do?
I could
we'll eventually have the face
beard,
filter that just adds beards to everybody in the show, I'm sure.
That would be funny.
Time to look into that. Yes.
It's Charles.
What's up, Charles?
To meet all you guys, well, some of the guys we know at G-Fest this year in person. So I'm really looking forward to. We are all looking forward to that and seeing
Me too.
That's gonna be so much fun. Yeah.
And we got some fun stuff lined up for G-Fest. So get ready for
without a doubt.
Stuff.
Without a doubt. In fact, speaking of Charles, I need to talk to your
Charles.
son,
What's up,
sir.
Charles?
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, we got to talk to Alex, don't we?
Yeah, Alex has been working on some stuff, so I need to chat with Alex about the background and stuff. So, but yeah, it should be good. We should have a great time at G-Fest. And man, I can't wait to see people that I haven't seen for so long. It's gonna be great to see you
Me
guys
too.
in person.
Like you. I mean, Kyle, I haven't seen you, and I can't even tell you.
David and I typically pre-pandemic saw each other at least three times a year.
At least,
yeah.
And which reminds me, I got to get my ass down there before you leave. So you really have to do
that.
I got to do that, and
I won't stop you.
Well, we got to get together and figure out when we can do that. So anyway, we'll do that on our own. You guys don't need to hear about that. But there it is. Leslie gave Kyle another heavy box to bring to Japan.
Yeah, I need to figure this out. Thank you, and thank you, Leslie. Obviously, using the camera. This is amazing. And again, I said this before in our chat. Like Leslie's generosity in the size of a box, right? Like I can't. When he said that on the show, that blew me away, and having it in hand, it blows me away. And now I need to go figure out how to get it on the shelf. And
that'll be a project.
Buy a GMK Yuji Sakai. Anyway, but yeah, thank you guys for being here. Thank you for hanging out. We're gonna I'm going to close this out on a commercial today. You guys ready for this?
Let's do it.
That's right, a commercial, because I need myself some coffee. Thanks for watching, everybody.
イする気持ちを忘れてないか。新豆引き立てで新登場トライニューワンダ。